I am back. They tried to cancel me. TikTok is censoring. It's censoring everybody. Censoring people, censoring liberals. But it's letting people to say bad things on the right. They're able to say, they can say whatever they want. They can say whatever they want, but God forbid, I say I will defend myself. I will defend myself against the people making violent threats. We hate violent threats, don't we, people? We use free speech. We use free speech to talk about politics. We don't use violence. We do not use violence, folks. But when violence comes a-knocking, we say we're here, and we're home, and we're ready to do something about it. Let's see how long the TikTok censorship mobile comes for this live stream. I might have to divide it into multiple streams yet again. The Trump session is here. Wow. God. Inauguration was January 20th. It's almost, what, March 20th? 2 months the dude's crashing the economy. Already! That's a new record. Wow. I mean, even by Republican standards, that is amazing. Normally they crash it like near the end of their... Like every single time, right? Because you had Reagan was on the way to crashing the economy, but he carried it over into Bush Sr., and Bush crashed the economy. So that took like 3 presidential terms. And then good old W... Good old George W. He crashed the economy after 2 terms, and then Trump crashed the economy at the end of his first term, and now he's crashing the economy within like the first year of his term. They keep just finding it's just always a race to the bottom with these folks. The biggest story right now for me is Mahmoud Khalil. He is a Palestinian activist at Columbia University who has been kidnapped and abducted and disappeared by the state. This is a constitutional crisis. He is being held without charge, being held without any reasoning or rationale. And he's been completely disappeared by the state. Keep in mind, this dude was kidnapped by the state in New York. Fucking New York. He was kidnapped. And they disappeared him all the way to friggin' Louisiana. His 8-month pregnant wife couldn't find him. His own attorneys couldn't find him. This is a huge repression by the state, and we cannot say it loudly enough. Free Mahmoud Khalil. I knew I was going to butcher his name. Free Mahmoud Khalil. This is big. I mean, this is reminiscent of friggin' Star Wars disappearance stuff. This is SS brown shirt level of state violence. This is a whole new level. It is a whole new world, you might say, of state violence, and we have to be very clear that if this happens to one guy like this, who's, not popular, not well known, whose story is already getting shuffled to the side by corporate media, they can and they will do it to the rest of us. Anyone that speaks out, we will be detained and disappeared just like this. And that's why it's so important to speak out. And the Democrats, yes, the loyal opposition party doing such bang-up work. Look, to be fair, many of the Democrats have given out very strong and forceful statements. AOC, Bernie, Rashida Tlaib, very strong statements that this is, in no uncertain terms, it is a kidnapping, it is an abduction, it is not a legal process that this man was taken by. And then you got Schumer. To be fair, I don't know if Schumer's put out a statement, but I did see Hakeem Jeffries' statement. Less than useless. That is our Democratic leadership right now. Less than useless. Jeffries is trying to play the old teeter-totter, walk the line, just straddle that fence as long as he can. So he has to throw out all this nonsensical horse you-know-what about Mahmoud Khalil's past and background and activism. All of it is just made up on the spot. He was a peaceful protester, he was an activist, and he was fighting for peace in the Middle East so that little children in Gaza don't on themselves by Israeli snipers. That was his agenda, that was his goal, and had the Democrats had any sense, they would have been doing the same thing, and you know what? They might have actually won the election if they had embraced his kind of activism and the agenda of having a free Palestine. So Hakeem Jeffries has to speak out of both sides of his mouth. He's doing classic Orwellian doublespeak. and he's saying all this bad stuff about my Khalil. But then also he's like, well, you know, but maybe, just maybe jackbooted people shouldn't be kidnapping someone in the middle of the night with his 8 months pregnant wife not knowing where he is. Just maybe. Someone else has said this on Twitter, but it's been very clear that Jeffries and Schumer are not the leadership that we need to meet this moment. These folks, we need to be ousting them. We need to be primarying them. We need to be pushing our own elected representatives to be calling for this. Schumer and Jeffries need to go. They have to go. We've been down this road. We went down this road with Merrick Garland, where he was a centrist institutionalist, a Republican no less. And look where it got us. The ultimate crime wave went from fucking Trump Tower in New York City and Mar-a-Lago down in Florida, and it just funneled itself right into the White House. That is the crime wave, the MAGA crime wave that we are dealing with now. We cannot have this centrism anymore. Schumer and Jeffries gotta go. So with that said, again, Mahmoud Khalil is a huge story, and we need to be laser focused on this. I had other things that I was going to cover because, man, a lot keeps happening. Every day there's like 5 different constitutional crises that happen. I mean, it's like the whack-a-mole of constitutional crises. Jesus. They held signs during the stupid Trump speech. Are we all in junior high school? Alicia, are you talking about the protest that Khalil was a part of? Flooding the zone. Yes, that is a very good... that's exactly what this is. It is flooding the zone, and they're trying to keep sure that we can't keep up. More pro-Palestinian people are protesting for Khalil than they protested against Trump. Andrew, I'm sorry, you're just wrong there. I've been in these protests. There are more people, there were more people protesting prior to the repression. And that's why the protests are not as big for Khalil as they should be, because people are scared. The repression is working. So respectfully, you're just wrong there. Oh, the State of the Union signs. Yeah, that's... God. I mean, look, I want to talk about this. The State of the Union signs... So the Democrats are getting kind of ished on for those signs, and it's like, on the one hand, they're observing decorum and trying to be civil, you know, they're obeying the civility police for whatever that means. So a lot of times with unions, you know, when we would go on strike or getting up to a strike, or when we were protesting things, that's something that we would do, is we would have a silent protest in the middle of the lobby, and we would just have our signs, and that would say everything that we needed to say. And that was legal. We could do that. So, like, I respect it. At least they did something. What they should have done is walked out as soon as Al Green was kicked out. The entire Democratic caucus should have walked out. Let frickin' Jeffries and Schumer sit there by their weird centrist AIPAC-loving selves. Let them sit in their weirdness with the rest of the treason caucus from the GOP. Everyone else should have left. Same, Bernie left. And when other folks didn't leave, when that happened to Al Green, when Bernie left, everyone else should have left. That's that. Okay, we'll come back to the State of the Union. What we're covering right now is this MAGA recession. Yes, ladies and germs, it is happening. It is here. The economy is crashing. Jobs are getting lost. Food prices are going up. And we have a trade war to top it all off. Oh, man, we just got like the triple, quadruple threat of economic disasters. Love it. We just need like a massive volcano eruption or something. Let's not even think about that. Jesus, the only one that would blow right now is like Mount Rainier, and that's when that one goes. That's a big one. Okay, so Musk, Elon Husk, because I can't Felon Husk because I can't say his name, otherwise TikTok will censor me. So he is unpopular as hell right now. Super unpopular, one of the most unpopular public figures in the country right now, if not the most unpopular. So it is very important to keep the focus on him and his illegal criminal activities, because he just has net negative charisma. I mean, he just drags. He is like the ball and chain of charisma, just dragging it down below the fucking floor. So if you can tie his unpopularity to the stuff that he's doing, I mean, pillaging Social Security so that he can bail himself out, your parents, your grandparents, your uncles, your family members, your disabled people that you might or might not know are on these programs, many of whom are MAGA voters. And I can't tell you how many stories are coming out right now about all these MAGA people that lost their jobs, lost their Social Security, and are like, oh, well, I thought he was a businessman. I didn't think he would be like this. Well, what did you think? What did you think? Because what you thought was wrong. So sit in that and stew with it for a minute and realize that the people that were warning you, that was saying that this is where it was going, were right. And maybe listen to them more. Just a few tornadoes with no FEMA response. Oh, God. Please don't say that, sort of Democles. I'm not talking about the huge crowds after the election. I'm talking about before. Andrew, I still think we're having a misunderstanding here. I was at the protests, okay? I was at UCLA. I was at USC. These protests for Gaza during the Biden administration were huge. And respectfully, the protests now they're good and we need them, but they're just not in the size that they were. Al Green is best. Yes, he is. Okay. Moving on. So we're seeing with Musk being, it fell on Husk being so unpopular. There's all the Tesla takedown. That's what's happening with all these protests. I love that's my catchphrase. That's what's happening. Like every time, you know how politicians will say like, look, listen here. What we got to do, now listen up. And what was Joe Biden? He's like, now listen here. Look, it's malarkey. Now listen, Jack. I found my catchphrase. So the Tesla takedown protests are a incredibly good action. And if you can attend one, highly recommend it. It's one of the best uses of your time right now. It's wearing on the guy. You can see it when he had his interview with, what was the name, Larry Kudlow on Fox. You can see that it's wearing on him. Yes! And that stock is just... Those are rookie numbers. We got to pump those numbers down, boys. We got to do it. So we're seeing all kinds of protests at these things. I mean, there's full-out arson happening now at his shops. How you feel about that? That's your prerogative. If some people are going to be bringing back the ideology that we fought an entire world war over, and that saw many of our ancestors and our grandparents because of it, maybe it's kind of a little bit of comeuppance for you. Am I getting a call? Oh, okay. And then, of course, the rocket explosion. The rocket explosion over the Caribbean. Like, how is this allowed to be a thing where he can just launch a rocket up into the air, blows up, could have killed a whole bunch of people, complete, total disaster, and corporate media, what did they say? They said it was corporate media framed it as an energetic exercise or something? It's like, yeah, it's called an explosion, fellas, not an energetic exercise. This is how you know we are a banana republic now, because no feasible scenario would anyone be allowed to do something like that and get away with it. You can't even launch a frickin' bottle rocket here in Los Angeles, understandably so, given the fire hazard, but you can't launch a frickin' bottle rocket in plenty of cities and states around the country here without getting in trouble and have to pay a fine for the litter. But Musk can just shoot up this couple $2 billion rocket disaster, no problem. It's horse shit. Ooh, Alex3820, good question. Do you think these grocery prices are an excuse to steal and help the corporations steal from people? They are. That's what they've been doing ever since the COVID-flation crap. These people are, on their earnings calls saying, hey, guess what? We can raise prices and we can blame it on inflation. And then prior to Felon Husk and Honnold Rump getting in charge, the federal authorities were going after these companies for price rigging. And now even Rump has to do it because even he realizes that the companies are colluding with egg prices. Now he's suing them. So yes, that's exactly what this is. It is a complete, just the same thing with them stealing Social Security and cutting Medicare and all this other stuff. It is a complete Robin Hood in reverse. It's Nibor Du, Robin Hood in reverse, just stealing from the poor, giving to the rich. Elon is in trouble. Yes, he is. Did you see Trump tweet on it about the rocket explosion? No, that's gotta be funny. God, I'd love to see that. Okay, where did we leave off? So then all of this economic anxiety, now it's actual economic anxiety and not just racist people angry that a black man got voted in office. So now there is actual economic anxiety from the people that voted out of anger of economic anxieties. Now you have all these MAGA town halls that are happening, and they're going off the hook. I mean, Republicans are getting booed, they're getting slammed, and they're calling them paid protesters. So at all these town halls, right, they're having all these angry people. They're canceling town halls now. So much for free fucking speech, right? They're canceling the town halls out of fear of their own voters who are paid protesters. They're such paid protesters that, you know, you have to cancel to avoid them. That makes sense. And again, these people, MAGA, you're being called paid protesters by the people you voted for. Now, if you were a real American, if you were a real man that actually, you know, gets pretty pissed off about that kind of shit, you would go out and do something. You wouldn't be voting for these losers. You wouldn't be supporting these idiots that are calling you paid protesters. I mean, how does that make you feel? What kind of a man are you to have the people that are literally using your taxpayer dollars to pay for their perfect health insurance, which you don't get, by the way, and their six-figure salary, which you also don't get, by the way? How does that make you feel to be nothing more to them than just a fucking mark? Because that's what you are. Whoa, my computer went off. Soros, yeah, that's the other thing, is they're blaming everything on George Soros, because of course they are. Where's the anti-Semitism, you know, calls on that? Where's corporate media on that? People saying from the river to the sea, anti-Semitic. People saying, hey, let's not genocide an entire race of people in the Middle East, that's anti-Semitism. But blaming people going to town halls saying they're paid protesters by George Soros, yeah, there's nothing anti-Semitic about that. Nothing at all. MAGA got suckered by Trump and the Republican Party. Sorry, dudes. Yes, stratification, you are correct. Or is it stratisfaction? Stratisfaction, I like that name. Now, here's the other thing. With MAGA canceling their town halls, Bernie is now leading town halls. Bernie is going across the country, and AOC is volunteer. There's been a couple other Democratic congresspeople. They're holding town halls in the places that Republicans are no longer doing so. This is the energy we need. This is what you need to be doing. You need to be rallying the people. You need to be showing these popular support, because as much as the fascists pretend that they're strong, like Rump and Husk, they all, you know, thump their chests and pretend they're big, such tough guys. At the end of the day, fascists are never as strong as they pretend to be. So if you can actually rally the people, like Bernie is doing, like some of these other town halls, these counter town halls that they're having, that is the way to go about it. That is an actual good use of your lawmakers' time, rather than Jeffries and Schumer just being like, oh, well, they have the majority, and there's just not much we can do about it. Well, actually, what you see is that we don't have any power. Did that stop the Republicans 2009 and 2010 from stopping Obamacare and with the Tea Party wave? No! Because they were out there. They were making shit happen. They were blocking things, and that's what the Democrats should be doing. Ugh, these guys make me so mad. Okay, I covered that. I need to wear my glasses. And now, all these stories are coming out about MAGA being mad about losing their jobs. So, well, yeah. Again, what did you expect would happen? This is what Republicans do. Republicans are job killers. Every Republican presidential person in office in my lifetime, there's been 3, well, 4 technically, because I guess I lived during Bush Sr. No, it was at the end of Reagan. Either way, every single time they're in charge, they crash the economy. That's just what they do. These are not geniuses. These are not smart folks. These are not even good business people. The only book Trump has ever read is Chapter 11. And they just crash the economy, and they steal from you, and they make off like bandits, while you guys have to pick up the pieces. That's what keeps happening. Stop falling for it. So all these stories are coming out about MAGA people losing their jobs, and then they have to go back home to their own family members, and their own family members make fun of them. Oh my God, salt in the friggin' wound. Could you imagine that? You just lost your job. You don't know how you're going to pay for food. You don't know how you're going to pay your rent. You don't know how you're going to afford health insurance. And you go home and your deadbeat uncle fucking Billy or whatever is saying, you lost your job? Yeah, you federal government lazy worker, you lost your job. And that's what you have to put up with. Is that really the life that you want for yourself, MAGA? For being unemployed and borderline homeless and getting made fun of by your fucking drunken cousin? That's what you want? Losers. I mean, it was all very clear. Musk even said that they would crash the economy. Trump even said that they would crash the economy, that they would have to do this because this, that, and the other. Don't fall for it. They don't need to crash the economy. They're crashing the economy to benefit them at your expense. I mean, it's in their own words. Husk said it himself. They will crash the economy and there will be short-term pain so that hopefully, maybe, magically it's going to get better. Come on. You guys fall for that? You think that the short-term crashing of the economy is going to be so much better later on? Or even so, why is that worth it? Why crash the economy when you could just, I don't know, tax billionaires? You want to cut the deficit, tax billionaires. So now Trump is even pivoting himself. He had a Truth Social post, I think it was. He's doing a no pain, no gain economic message. Again, you guys were so mad about egg prices. You're so mad about the cost of living and the cost of eggs that, hey, now you're going to be able to not even afford it anymore. Period. You may have been having to pinch the pennies and search in the sofa for drops of change, but you could still buy them. Now, not only are you not going to be able to afford them, they're not even going to be in stock. Because there's going to be the economy is going to totally crash. Where's the supply? Where's the demand? The farmers aren't going to, the stores aren't going to put that shit up there if no one's buying them. It's already happening. You're already seeing these empty shelves saying, sorry, we don't have eggs, we'll have them next week. Or, limit one carton of 12 eggs per person. That's the Trump economy. But hey, you know what? While you're losing your job and not affording egg prices and all this shit, good to know that Trump freed the pedophile Tate brothers. It's always nice. Yeah. How does that lower the price of eggs? Jesus. Only thing that does is shrivel up the women's eggs. Jesus. These guys are crooked, corrupt criminals and pedophiles. And is this your king? This is your king? These guys? Never take their word about anything when it comes to child safety, because the biggest threat to the safety of a child is a Republican. Not my king. Heard today that egg prices plummeted? Yeah, sure, Stan. Was that in your dreams? Trump is literally a car salesman now. Pizza Dude 1984. That's hilarious because, yeah, he's even saying, I'm going to buy one. I'm going to buy a Tesla. Elon, he's hurting. He's having a hard time. We hate to see that happen to such a good guy. Such a good guy. He's been so loyal. I love working for President Musk. President Musk. I'm not Vice President. No. Can't figure out what his own title is. Jason, you can't even stop heckling. First you have to heckle me when we do shows, and now you're heckling me in my own live stream. I hate you. I hate you so much. All right, last point. So there was a pathetic jobs report that came out. 177,000 jobs added. That does not keep up with population growth. Population growth, we need roughly 250,000 jobs per month, if I remember right. Whereas Biden averaged 300,000 jobs in growth per month. So that's literally almost twice. Biden's job growth was almost twice of what this newest one for Trump is. And again, the Biden economy was flawed. Rent kept going up. Cost of living did go up because of corporations stealing from us and lying and colluding. They did it with landlords are doing it. They did it with CVS, Amazon. Again, the egg prices, or the companies behind the eggs, they were all colluding together to fix the price. So the Biden economy was not perfect, but that's why they need more aggressive against this corrupt capitalism. But hey, now we have 177,000 jobs, almost half of what Biden was growing. And of course, wage growth has stagnated. And here's the other thing is that Trump is now just going to alter the statistics. He's taken over these government agencies to report all this information. So they're just going to lie and hide. It's going to be 1984 all over again. It's going to be we're at war with East Asia and now Eurasia and Oceania. But we were always at war with Oceania, but also at war with East Asia. Like, he's just going to alter the statistics. And we have to, we're going to need a new outlet for independent evaluation of the economy, because we're not going to be able to trust anything coming from the government. We can't even trust the New York War Crimes or the Washington Post, because these outlets have become so right-wing, especially Washington Post with Jeff Bezos taking over, and the LA Times, same thing. So yeah, at the end of the day, Trump is losing jobs, he's crashing wages, and the economy is in a nosedive. I actually had to take all of my stocks out and just put them in a money market, because you don't know what the market's going to do right now. And it's just going to crash, it's crashing to crash with this tariffs. So we're in for it. Buckle up. That's all I can say. Get a savings and start socking away, because you're going to need it. Because all this does while you're suffering, it's enriching the elites. The Trumps, the Musks, the Bezos, Zuckerbergs, all these folks, they're making out like fucking the Hamburglar while you guys are struggling to make your rent. So hey, hope it was worth it. What'd I see? You should Google Senator Chris Murphy's video, 6 Weeks in the White House. It's an eye-opener. Is Chris Murphy, he's that guy from Connecticut, I think? Let me look it up. Yeah, he's good. He's a guy to watch. Senator Chris Murphy has been on top of this stuff. He's been very vocal, very clear-eyed on what needs to happen. So good for him for fighting back. And he's not pulling his punches. And we need more of that energy in the party. Elon is losing money. Yes, he is. Oh, I love to see that Tesla stock fall. Let's crash it more, baby. All right, what'd I see? Okay, looks like I'm caught up on the comments. I think there's some stuff previously that I'm not going to get to, and I'm also kind of right around the time where TikTok likes to censor me. So I'm going to put my link in the chat. So please follow me on YouTube. I am almost at the point where I can monetize YouTube. I cannot monetize here, unfortunately, but right there, youtube.com/directorejjr. Please go there, follow my page, my channel, whatever it's called on YouTube. Please follow that, because again, I can monetize it, and that's going to go a really long way to help me put out more content like this, do more live streams for y'all. If he is losing money, why isn't he doing anything about it? Well, that guy, you got to remember, I say that guy, but that's the user's name. He's not a smart person. That's just what it comes down to. He thinks he's smart. And because he has all the money in the world, that is a dangerous combination. You also have that with him surrounding himself by yes men. And he's going to make the wrong decision 9 times out of 10, 99% of the time. Yep, the oligarchs are going to destroy us from within and split the spoils. Correct, T-Zeppo2. Never lose sight of that, because that is the end goal. That is the agenda here, and we need to fight it. The top 1% gain is $6 trillion under the Biden administration. Well, what do you think they're gaining right now? It's the same thing. And that was the problem with the Biden administration, was, again, they didn't tax the billionaires. Well, they did with the IRS, but then you folks threw a big shit fit over that when the IRS was going after the billionaires. And you know what? It worked. We got billions back from the billionaires. Haven't the 1% been doing that for years? Yes, that is also true. During COVID, for example, under Trump, not only did we see a MAGA crime wave and a murder spike because Trump unleashed so much violence in this country, But yes, the top 1% continue to get richer, all while COVID made the poor poorer. Okay, I'm going to go because, again, I don't know when the TikTok hammer ban is going to come down. So please, youtube.com/directorejjr or follow me here. But YouTube goes a lot further. Thank you!